Welcome to the journey out to sea with fishing boats. Here, in the middle of the vast ocean, is where fishermen face the waves and winds day and night to make a living. Each trip is a battle with nature full of hardship but also many memorable moments. Follow along to see their strength, skills and never give up spirit and the full catch of fish that comes back after each net. On the vast ocean, the blue water blends with the deep horizon. A fishing boat carries many fishermen who are diligently working in the open sea. They stand in rows close to the edge of the boat, each holding a fishing rod or a towing rope, coordinating rhythmically like a long practice formation. The sound of waves gently lapping against the side of the boat mixed with the rhythmic shouts from the fishermen creates a vibrant and exciting work rhythm. Every time the rod shook or the line tensed, there was a thrill. Was there a school of fish down there? Or was it just a missed opportunity? When a big fish was pulled up, everyone cheered, eyes shining. Each cast, each pull was synchronized, steady and decisive. The big fish, silver reflecting the sun, leaped into the air before landing on the deck amid loud applause and calls to each other. Although the work is hard, requiring great strength and concentration, the spirit of solidarity and joy when catching fish makes all difficulties disappear. This is a vivid picture of working life in the middle of the ocean, simple, realistic, but also very attractive. The sea surface began to become more lively than ever. From the left side of the boat to the right side, dozens of fishermen spread their lines together, pulling them in unison with precise pulls. Each large fish was continuously thrown into the air and landed on the deck amid joyful cheers. The swings of the lines were like the rhythms of a symphony in the vast sky and water. Down below, the people in charge are also working at full capacity. Fish are thrown into bins, quickly sorted by size and type, and then immediately sent to the cold storage area. It is a closed process, operated by the harmony and discipline of an experienced team. And then, the sun rose higher, its rays shining directly on the deck, sparkling like gold. The ship was now filled with the fruits of its labor, full barrels of fish, drops of sweat falling amid the satisfied smiles of the fishermen. They understood that behind each fish was the effort and enduring bond between man and the ocean. Below the surface, the fish were still moving in great numbers. Each silver light sparkled like lightning on the ocean floor. In close-up, the scene became majestic and vivid, a large school of fish surrounded by nature and humans, creating a fair battle between skill and survival instinct. And then, the sun rose higher, its rays shining directly on the deck, sparkling like gold. The ship was now filled with the fruits of its labor, full barrels of fish, drops of sweat falling amid the satisfied smiles of the fishermen. They understood that behind each fish was the effort and enduring bond between man and the ocean. On the stern deck of the ship, the sunlight began to shine down on the deep blue water, opening a new day for the fishermen at sea. The familiar but no less fierce scene began again. Dozens of men, each holding a large fishing rod in their hands, stood in a line, eyes glued to the water, where a school of tuna swam densely behind the boat. Each movement was decisive, each pull up and drop down was performed regularly and rhythmically, like a wordless dance of labor. As soon as a fish bites, the fisherman immediately jerks the hook. The fish is thrown out of the water, thrashing in the air before falling back to the deck. In a split second, the rod is lowered, the hook is plunged back into the deep water. No one is allowed to slow down. No one is allowed to slack off, because a second of delay means losing a fish, and sometimes even losing one's own safety. All of this blends into a series of urgent, powerful, and precise actions, like a machine operating smoothly in the middle of the ocean. In that moment, humans are no longer small individuals in the ocean, but part of the power that is taming nature with intelligence and persistent labor. The fishermen, wearing bright orange raincoats, despite the water splashing in their faces, remained focused. Their left hands held the rods firmly, their right hands skillfully hooked the ropes, their feet gripped the deck, which was soaked with water and fish blood. The fish that had barely risen from the water were immediately put into the chute leading to the waiting compartment. Each action had to be quick and precise, because the fish only appeared for a very short time. Inside the hold, the processing team is rushing to put each fish into the cold storage. The hatch is constantly opened, and layers of ice are placed on the fish to keep them fresh. The workers in this hold are no less hard-working. They work in humid, cold conditions, but there is no room for delay. After hours of struggling with endless streams of tuna, the deck was now almost empty. The big fish, with shiny silver bodies, were layered on top of each other, from bow to stern, creating a sea of fish right on the boat. It was not an easy achievement. Sweat, effort, experience and team spirit were put into each pull, each precise cast. Underwater, schools of tuna still swim in the deep blue water, creating a spectacular and vibrant scene of wild nature. On board, the fishermen have not stopped working. Each person continues to fight until the last catch is finished. The sound of the waves, the calls to coordinate, the sound of fish hitting the deck, combine to create a vibrant symphony of labor in the middle of the ocean. From above, the ship looks like a fortress standing out in the middle of the ocean, both full of vitality and full of spoils. This voyage will certainly leave a special mark on the hearts of everyone on board, not only because of the amount of fish caught, but also because of the spirit of resilience, ingenuity, and solidarity they have shown. As the first rays of sunlight appeared on the horizon, the sea gradually glowed in a warm orange. In the vast and quiet space, the fishermen began their familiar work, preparing their fishing rods, baits and skillfully starting a new day full of hope. The steady whirring of the reel, the powerful jerks of the rod pulling each fresh fish up from the water, the thrill of the fishing line, the moment of fighting with the fish, and the joy of the moment the spoils are pulled up all blend together in the bustling morning air in the middle of the vast ocean. After waiting patiently in the vast ocean, the water surface suddenly stirred violently. A sudden pull made the fishing line taut, signaling a successful bite. Immediately, the fisherman held the rod tightly, his hands tensed, his eyes following every movement under the water. A giant yellowfin tuna began to emerge, struggling violently, creating splashes around the boat. The fishing line glided across the sea. The sound of pulling was tense. Each pull of the line, each jerk of the rod was like a coordinated dance between strength and technique. The battle between man and nature was taking place breathlessly right before our eyes. The moment the fish is gradually pulled close to the boat, the sunlight shines on the silver scale sparkling under the water. It is not only an achievement, but a symbol of perseverance and passion. After several minutes of suspenseful struggle, the giant yellowfin tuna was finally brought onto the boat. All members worked together to help, pulling the massive fish onto the deck under the bright morning sunlight. Sweat mixed with joy. Bright smiles were clearly visible on everyone's face. This was the moment that any fisherman had been waiting for. The fish was neatly placed on the deck, a tape measure pulled out to measure its length, an essential part of every conquest. From above, the fish took up nearly half the length of the boat, a proud achievement in the vast ocean. Once again, the ocean gives precious gifts to those who are patient, resilient, and passionate. The giant bluefin tuna lay still on the deck, a living testament to the team's tireless efforts. One by one, they stepped forward to touch the fish's body, feeling the firmness and powerful beauty of the king of the ocean. One person measured the fish's tail, another gently stroked its shiny dorsal fin, as if to preserve this proud feeling for a longer time. The whole boat seemed to be silent in the moment of victory, amidst the blue sea and sky. A great voyage, a great challenge, and a great reward. The sea is not yet come, another bountiful day continues. Under the bright midday sun, the deep blue sea still echoes with the bustling sounds from the deck. The fishermen are not tired, they continue to cast their lines, pull in fish, and haul their heavy spoils onto the boat. Fresh tuna bodies flap on the deck one after another, leaving behind bright red blood stains, not of slaughter, but a symbol of labor, of worthy achievements after so many struggles with the wind and waves. The boat tilted gently with the waves, and the casts were as regular as the heartbeat of the fishing team, fast, strong, and determined. No one spoke, but the concentration was evident on each face. This was not just work, this was their passion, their life, the vast offshore world they belonged to. Fish slapping the deck is a familiar but proud sound. Thank you for watching. If you find the video interesting and meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to support us to have more motivation to make more interesting videos. See you again on the next sea trips. Ask Chat Gapped.